So welcome to today's talk on inner child. For those of you who don't know me, I am Deepthi, founder of Heal Clinic, which is a wellness platform. We work in different energy healing therapies, ranging from Reiki to ancestral healing to womb healing, family constellation, theta healing, radical healing, and so many more. Today's session is part of our series Back to Basics, where we simplify the therapies so that it becomes easier for all of us to understand and know which therapy works best for us, to understand therapies more intimately. And today we have with us Isha, who 15 years back left a very lucrative IT job to immerse herself totally in this healing and spiritual space. She's a psychologist, a radical healer, FC facilitator, hypnotherapist, inner child and past life therapist, shamanic healer, and the list goes on. She's someone who is one of those people who keeps learning, who keeps working on herself and adding on to her list. As I said, she has been practicing for more than 15 years now. She does distance healing, she does online therapy and group workshops. In fact, we have a very interesting 21-day online workshop with her, which is called Money Speaks. I'll put up the link in the chat in case anybody is interested. So let's get to Isha, as today's day is about inner child. Welcome, Isha.
Shall we start?
Yes.
Welcome to all of you. Deepthi introduced me myself. So it's nice to hear when she tells about me, and I think, oh my, is that all me? Something like that. And I know a lot of people here whose faces are very familiar. So it's very nice to be with people whom I know already, and also new people, because I'm excited to see how a new person will know, react to what we talk here. And let us make it very like a discussion, but let's keep all the questions for the later, like, the last half an hour something, which is dedicated for question and answer and discussions. Okay, so in between, most of you by now know what I'm going to talk, because you're all been here, there, everywhere, somewhere, knowing things, so you can guess. But let's see, something new always comes out. Okay. So I want to make it a little more experiential. So what I suggest all of you, please take a pen and pencil and a sheet of paper. And before I even start what is inner child, I want you all to take 2 minutes. I'll give 2 minutes. Write some of your beliefs. Okay, some of the beliefs, some of the postulates, something like, let me just give an example. Hard work brings money. Okay, and what is that? I'm a girl, so I can't do that. Or I have problem in mixing with people. Or what else? I'm a boy and a girl. I have to do everything for myself. Everything is my responsibility. Or what else? I am not good enough. I don't look good. I am unlucky. See, I'm getting so many things. Anything can be in your life. So you just write down, and if possible, also write for each of those beliefs, where did you hear it, or how did it come into your life? Just very briefly, maybe heard it with your friends, or heard it in the family, or my mother used to keep saying it, or I experienced that somewhere, so I believe it. It can be anything. We are not directly going to work on this, but inner child work will help you to know yourself. If you write it, right, you'll understand the inner child better. So your time starts now.
So for all those who came in late, I put it in the chat. Just write down some of your beliefs and where did you hear it or how did it come in your life?
You have 1 more minute. So, okay, the time's up now. Okay, one more, Payal entered, so you can, okay, Payal, are you there? She must be there, right, already?
Yeah.
Okay, so Payal, what happened is we all wrote beliefs, and some of the beliefs what we have in our life, it is not what you've heard others, it's what probably you believe. And then from where did you get the belief? So while we're talking, you can go ahead and write some few. Okay, yeah. So let me share PPT so that it will be only easy for us to discuss and talk. Pratibha. Okay. So you can all see the presentation. Hold on a minute. Okay. I don't know. Is it in the presentation mode? No. What's happening? Something is not. Okay. So it's there, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Fine. So let's take up what is inner child. Inner child, in short, we say I see. In any of the healing world or therapists will generally say I see. And now in the past 2 years, it has become so much of a normal jargon. Everybody knows what is I see. Okay. So it's inner child. Now let's see how that inner child happens in our life. So basically what happens is, let's assume that what's something which is really important is to have courage for a child to grow and wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is something, is this right or is this wrong? As a child grows, until 9-year-old, they don't have any clue whether it's right or wrong. They are understanding whether it's right or wrong based on the feedback they get from the peers or from the parents. Basically, 0 to 2 years, they are connected with a caretaker who's a woman. It may be grandmother, it can be mother, it can be a maid. Basically, a woman. So, what happens is we were talking about wisdom. And wisdom comes from different people to children at different level of their age. For example, 0 to 2, it comes from a woman caretaker. And after 2, it will be like a teacher, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, around that time. After 4, it will be like approximately when they come to the first standard, it's from the friends. And until they become around 13-year-old, it's the father will play the role. So these beliefs, these experiences, the wisdom, what we call, which is required for that growth, it'll come from these areas. So courage, they will imbibe. Through the wisdom, they get it from anywhere. Okay? These are the 2 major virtues every child will gather as they grow. Now let's assume these get damaged. That is, you get a nonsense wisdom, which is not true, and you lose your courage to hold yourself up. Then that means something is happening to the child. It's not right. Add to this confusion, misunderstanding. It's a total chow-chow bath. Okay? It's enough to mess up the life. So what happens is you don't have courage, wisdom is wrong, and you're very, very confused as to what is right, what is not right. And you are misunderstanding things. You're not able to read things right. Okay? So when this happens, what we call as trauma is happening. Or because of the trauma, these things happen. Or when these things happen, that means trauma is happening. That's what we just call the name as trauma. Trauma is basically an event or a situation where what the child believes as the courage giver or a wisdom coming from the resource, what we call usually, which are parents, teacher, gurus, or whatever it may be, society. If something is happening because of them, and I'm getting confused, I'm misunderstanding things, and I'm not courageous enough, that means something is unmet for the child. So this part which is unmet will cocoon itself. It will cocoon itself. It's a little part of the consciousness or a little part of the understanding, the mind, which gets stuck like a cyst. It gets stuck somewhere inside the actual growth of the child. And that doesn't grow. It gets stuck, cocooned inside. In its own unawareness, in its own not having courage, in its own confusion, in its own misunderstanding. And that is what we call as inner child. It is like a small little personality inside me, which is not grown and which is under the influence of all these four. And so it is stuck there, which cannot understand things, which cannot be courageous, which misunderstands, and which has a lot of confusion. And that is what we call as inner child. So what happens is they will slowly, as the human body grows with age, this cocooned part still cannot understand what is the logic of these adults, because it is stuck there in the younger age. The young child cannot understand the adults' frustration towards money issues, frustration towards their problems, sex, power. Children cannot understand that. And the adults won't clearly say it in a nice or a clearly understandable way for a child. They say, don't go there. That's it. Don't go play in the neighborhood. Why? The child doesn't understand. Now, this adult might be coming with a preconceived idea that next door there is a boy who is not very good, so my daughter should not go there. There might be something. Adult might have their own inner child. But the child cannot understand why the adult is saying like this, because it's not there under capacity to understand. They're young. Their filter mind is not yet formed. So what happens? The child has to get some logic. So wisdom is not here. There is confusion. Why the adult is saying like this? So the child makes its own logic. The logic could be, I'm a girl, I should not go out. Or my parents don't like me. They don't give me freedom. They want to punish me because I did not do the homework yesterday. They will conclude something. I'm not good enough. Or my mother hates me. Something like that the child will conclude. And this becomes a discouragement and their incomprehensions. All this will start affecting the child, and the child personality that I see builds up. Now this will stay for long, even the adult grows, but this doesn't grow. So the adult naturally starts feeling as the adult grows, I am not good enough. Any kind of later traumas happen in their life, they say, I knew it, I'm not good enough. The boss says something, I know it all the time, this is the same story. Or my mother never loves me anyway, big deal. It's like this, everything they are looking at from the child perspective. The child comes out, take charges, and then the adult will behave like the child. So this is what is called as the inner child, and this is how the inner child forms. Now, the next thing is how the trauma and the inner child are entwined, like how they are bound together. So we already talked that, some event where The child cannot comprehend it. At that time, we call that as trauma because the confusion and pain happens in the mind and they try to take the logic about it. So it doesn't happen every time then in your life. Every trauma you encounter, will it happen like that? No. One day your mother did not buy you an ice cream, it doesn't cause any inner child. Inner child will happen over a period of time. And it comes with words. For example, one day the mother did not buy ice cream because mother didn't have money at the time. Okay. So the child thinks, okay, fine, she doesn't have money. She said, second time mother says, we can't buy it, okay? We don't have so much money. We should be very careful, blah, blah, blah. The child thinks, oh my gosh, I can't seem to get the ice cream. And mother says, there's no money. Third time, mother again won't buy the ice cream or something else. And she still says, all the time I'm keep buying junk for you. Whereas you are not studying well. You don't do anything well. You don't listen to me. But I need to keep buying ice cream for you. I don't have money to buy. The child concludes that I am not worthy for money. Money cannot be spent on me because I am stupid. Or my mother doesn't like me. Or we don't have money. We are very poor. We can't buy ice cream. That is where even their money consciousness starts. If they think that they are poor, they will remain to be poor. Or they will think that I should work very hard and should come out of it to get an ice cream. So this is how the trauma intertwines with the inner child. Okay. Now, this pattern continues. Once it forms, this behavior or this inner child forms, slowly it becomes a subpersonality. When it becomes a subpersonality, it pops out every time when that pattern comes. When the child has to go somewhere for its own enjoyment, maybe a trip with the friends, but at that time, the guilt comes. Should I have to spend money on this? Am I worthy of it? Can I be using the money for my fun? Is it required? Maybe I'm not very rich. Maybe I'm poor. I shouldn't be doing it. All these things will come. From where it is coming, it's actually the inner child which is popping out and trying to say that you should not do that. So all our behaviors and adult acknowledgements or how the adult behaves will be with the influence of this inner child. So slowly the adult life starts affecting, getting affected by this, and plus adult will invite only such kind of things in their life. It becomes a pattern, and pattern starts continuing forever and ever until you are aware of it. Oh my God, this happened as a childhood. It's not, need not have to be like that. Until that happens, it is always telling you it's there. It's there. And then again and again, it repeats in every aspect of your life. Every aspect of your life, it starts repeating. Now let's see, what is the next one? How does this IC affect us? Okay. Now, if it were not to be affecting, nobody would have bothered about inner child work. That modality wouldn't have been there at all. So what if it's there? It happened in the childhood and you leave it. You grow. Simple, no? But if you look at it, we're all only inner children, stuck there, operating out of it. Maybe there's very little part of us which is an adult. At least you might have, many of you have worked on it. So at least that inner child pops out and then you'll think that it's okay. I know how to handle, then you tell yourself, and then you become the adult again who has the power to make the decision, who has the power to grow. Okay. How it affects, I'll give you an example. I have given an example of this to many, many people who are here. I can see that, but then for the benefit of others, I'll see the same thing because this is a very classic example, actually told by my teacher. So what is it about? There was this girl who was an 8-year-old, and she used to go play with the neighbor's boy. And one day he touches her inappropriately, and she doesn't feel good about it. So she comes home after playing, and then she tries to tell her mother. But the mother, immediately she looks at the child, she says, go wash yourself, you're dirty. Because she's just come after playing. So she just say that, you're dirty, go wash your hand. She's trying to say something, but the mother she's just go wash. So she feels like, first of all, she's not feeling good about whatever happened. On top of that, mother is not listening. So she thinks that maybe I shouldn't say it. Maybe nobody will listen. Maybe this is stupid. I'm thinking like this. I'm making up in my head. And what happens is there is another thing which is not feeling good, right? This groping, whatever which has happened, she's not feeling good. And she doesn't know anything about the sexual aspect yet in life. So she doesn't feel good at all. And she goes inside the room and then she kind of feels like, what is happening? Why am I feeling like this? Whereas my mother is not feeling anything about it. And she's sitting there. Mother comes there and she says, naughty girl, you're still sitting here. You have not washed. You're dirty. Look at you. Go wash yourself. Over and again, this dirty word makes her feel that this situation is dirty. I am dirty. So she associates this boy groping her to dirty. And because I got exposed to it, I am dirty. There is no logic here. It's totally illogical. But this is how, it's an actual case. It's a real, one of the clients of my teacher, this happened. So what happens is, she starts feeling every man or a boy, anybody touching is dirty. You cannot speak about it. And then, I am dirty. My mother does not want to hear about this. So she grows like that. Now what happens when she grows up? What happens? She has problem with all her colleagues who are men. She has a low feeling. If every man she looks at and she talks, she feels that I may not be good enough. I am only fit for touching. And so increasingly it becomes difficult for her to mingle, socialize. She feels unworthy for no reason. And she doesn't have any proper jobs. She cannot stand up to herself because she can't voice out anything. She's been shushed and always in a confusion. Am I thinking right? Whatever the world is saying is right. I don't know what it is. So when there is confusion, you shut it off because you don't want to be in the confusion. Then you become like a zombie. Not necessarily throughout 24 hours, you'll be stuck in this time. But whenever there is a need for a decision and to act, these things will keep popping out. And then she was not able to do it. This is a classic inner child problem. This is how the inner child children will affect us. Okay, by messing up our adult logic. Okay, now the next question we'll see. How to heal the inner child. This is all about the therapy. I would say, please come for the therapy, simple. But then let's know about it. What happened? The child had a need. It was not addressed. It's a straight therapeutic logic, correct? So now what you have to do, can you go back to the past and address it? In a way, yes, but that can happen through the current adult. The current adult will have to realize what happened when I was a child and what did the child decide, the belief, the experience, what did the child wanted at that time and didn't get, who could be the reason for it, and then kind of having a discussion between the adult and the child. When this happens, the child grows, or the adult which has the inner child in you, in the mind, a piece of the mind, the adult get the awareness, oh my God, if this is happening all because of this, then the child feels adult is now empowered. Adult can take care. I don't have to take care of the adult. Because inner child is doing just to save the adult. Inner child has felt very unsafe. And now the inner child thinks that I need to save this adult from what I experienced. It should not happen to the adult. That's why it is popping out and stopping the adult. But when this kind of a discussion, whatever happens, child understands that adult is more powerful than me. And the adult can handle him or herself. I don't have to come out. Or rather, the child feel I got my parents, which was not there at that time. So this is the crux of the how to heal the inner child. Okay. Now let's see the next slide. Karmic entanglements and wounds in the inner child. We all love the word karma, right? Somehow, especially in the last 2 years, people are loving everything about karma. Okay. I'm just giving one question, asking one question. Can anybody tell me what is karma? In a very brief way. Because it become monologue, you know, I'm just talking to myself, kind of feeling I'm getting. So anything, nothing is right or wrong.
Karma is anything that we do.
Okay. So I'm teaching here. Is it karma?
It's an action.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Madhu.
It's an action. It's an action you're performing.
I can't hear you. What is that? It's an action?
It's an action that you're performing.
Okay.
So karma can be positive or negative. So any wrong deeds or any wrong things done, it goes in a negative karma, or what you are doing is right now, it will count in the positive karma. What I feel. Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, anyone has anything more to add to this?
It is also at the level of our thinking, our thoughts. What our thoughts are, what we think.
Absolutely. So basically,
So,
yeah, go ahead, Seema.
as you sow, shall you reap?
Yeah, all that is. So basically, we summarized it, all of us put together. If you want like an equation, cause and effect. From the physics point of view, we are in a physical world. So the karma is very, very physical. It is not at all metaphysical or spiritual. Karma belongs to bottom 3 chakras. Okay? That is Roti Kapta Makan, love, desire, control, power. 3 chakras. Karma is here only. But we all have some kind of a weird understanding of karma. Karma is there for us to get motivated in our life so that we learn a lot and become better beings. Rather, what we think is karma is punishment for us. That's how we have made it. Especially Indians are extremely good at it. To, if nothing, blame it on the karma. At least we have a way to escape, right? Yeah, in a way it's good. But then what we have to understand is, you do something, it need not have to become karma. It depends on the thought behind it. Like how Monica said. If the thought is charged enough, then it can become a karma. I can kill a person without anything, without any kind of a bad feeling or revenge or nothing. I may not get karma. It is the thought behind it matters. Okay. So now you have to take it back. So will I have to take it back from the same person? No. You can get it from anywhere, through anything, in any event. What is that then I'm going to get? I am going to experience all that which I gave earlier. It is something like I will have to understand by undergoing it. If I make one person guilty, I will get back to become a guilty in something so that I feel how it is to be subjected to be guilty. The biggest karma one can do is helping somebody without asking. You're surprised, isn't it? But you are obligating them. You're obligating so much so that you will get only something wrong coming from them. They will hate you for helping them when they didn't ask. Because of the obligation, because they will have to find now to return something back to you. And that pressurizes them. And slowly it turns into a hatefulness. For example, if you have helped a maid thinking really well in your heart, but when she is needed to suffer, when she needed to do whatever, but you helped her, then she will become to give you back, but that how long to give you back? And she'll start becoming very obligated that it's not enough that I should do. In the whole life, she'll be only thinking to give you back. That becomes too heavy for her. And she starts hating you for that. So this is like how the karma starts. Okay? Now, if karma is understood in one lifetime, we can understand it very well. But if the karma is coming from some lifetime, how will you know that is karma or something? We can't make out, right? We can't make out whether it's a karmic entanglement or what is happening, we cannot make out. So what happens is usually such things will be the pattern. Because first time when the pattern happens, okay, this life thing, something, you try to correct it. Again, the pattern happens and you don't have a clue why it is happening. Many times when it happens, it gives you a chance for you to actually address it. Then you'll start addressing it from the inner child aspect, because inner children are those which will trigger for the karma. It is like why that boy had to grope her. If there is some karmic entanglement, then she would have attracted such kind of situation in her life so that it will be addressed. Maybe she needs to stand for herself. Maybe she needs to learn courage. Okay, she kind of put somebody down in some previous life, let's assume. And so she will be put down like that so that she learns. What is that the learning out of it? To learn to stand up for myself, to learn to be courageous. If that is so, then opposite only happens in life. Okay. Now, where is the karma enters? Nobody knows. Which loop we are in, we don't know. So the best thing is not to blame the karma, not to really think that you're working on the karma. Just work on the issue. It should be like that. Okay. But inner child is definitely the one which actually triggers if there is any karma. Not all inner children are karma. So that's where I'm trying to say. Yeah, Monica.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you a question. See, like what you said, that helping somebody without asking for anything in return. So this makes the other person feel obligated and ultimately burdened to, do something for you, and lots of frustration is caused. But say in a situation, say if I am doing something for someone out of, say, because socially I feel, if I know something and if I share, it would help other people in some way, in positive way. But I am not asking anything in return from them. But still, I am getting lots of gratitude and love for
that is in return.
So it is balanced then, right?
Absolutely. See, what happens is we all have to understand. If you give something, you will get back something. The question is what? Now, if you want to make sure that you are not going to get back something wrong or negative for you, please take money. And you're done with it. Because you will take back something. And we don't know that something, how it will work for us. If it's gratitude, love, very good. If malice, jealousy, no, sorry, I don't want that.
Okay.
So the easiest exchange of energy is money. Okay? So never feel bad to ask money. If not, be very clear what you're, from the maid, of course, you are getting their work. right? There should be a balanced exchange. If you go beyond that, you will realize what's happening. When that happens from the maid, you know that, oh, I know where I'm going wrong. And you can correct it. Okay? Many times what happens is, we, out of our good nature, or we all want to be heroines and saviors, not even heroines, we want to be saviors. That factor will make us approach people. But if you are going through an NGO, there is a goal. If you are doing it because you're a therapist, there is a goal. If there is no such thing, then please watch out. What's that you're going to get it back? Then alter it accordingly. It's not that you should totally stop. Alter it. You know, maybe take some extra work from the maid. Maid is just an example. It may be your relatives. And situation may be tricky, but make sure that you get what you want. It's not being selfish or not having a great heart, nothing like that. These are all energy exchanges, and energy has to get exchanged. Even if you don't do it, you will still get it. For example, you will start taking their problem. You lend money, and then if you don't ask it back, let's assume, or get in return something, what will happen whenever you want money, they will tell you their problem. And you'll feel, poor thing, no, they have this problem. Okay, so what? You're taking their problem? You're taking their problem. And how it affects you, that we don't know. It depends on your life.
Okay.
So be very clear in the transactions.
Okay.
Then you don't have to have any karmic this thing. You can cut the karmic loop. Be very clear.
Okay.
Okay, so that's precisely how it is.
Thanks a lot, Isha.
Thank you. Yeah. So to think about a little more based on our life purposes, that is what you're meant to be, we borrow such karma also. Like, for example, if I'm meant to be healing people this lifetime, I might have, I'm not very sure, because according to me, I believe that I have a talent which is coming from some past life. But there could be situations where I did not give healing. I need to heal people. I maybe caused a lot of problem to people, so that this time I need to heal them. So my life purpose would be healing others, serving others. So then my whole life would be like borrowing these kind of karma, so that I am compelled to heal others. It can be that also. So karma is a very difficult thing to understand. According to me, you need not have to understand at all. Concentrate on every situation which is happening. What am I supposed to learn out of it? Is there any benefit for me? How can I grow out of it? Will actually make you grow out of the karma. Another thing is that people believe that whatever I did, I have to again take it. I have to experience it, then only karma will go away. No. By just awareness in our head, karma can go. Something like I made somebody feel very bad. And somewhere after 5 years, I felt the same thing. Then I can just have to think that this is how probably they felt when I did. That's enough. You're out of the loop. So awareness is one which will take you out of the loop of karma. You don't have to undergo it. Awareness and learning is what you have to keep on looking at it. So there are a lot of children, you might have seen that they're picked in the class. They're always asked questions. They're always laughed at. And they don't know why it happens to them. Definitely it will form an inner child for them. But maybe they're supposed to stand up, talk, be courageous, get their talent out karmically. So that's why, for a strange reason, they'll be keep on, picked up. But this will cause inner child in them. I'm not good enough, etc. For a long time, until their awareness that how can I actually come out of it, or what benefit actually that gave me. It made me very strong. It made me to stand up and talk in a group. I can easily, nicely talk. I can give speeches. All that, if they realize as an adult, that because through the IEC, inner child, they will learn it, and then the karmic entanglement goes away. Okay, let's go to the next. Where do these inner child live? Where do they live? We all know they live in our minds, and they live in our subconscious mind. Okay, so subconscious mind is only metaphorical, meaning it is filled with memories, not clear messages that you have to be courageous. No, it's recorded as a situation where you're belittled and you felt really like hiding. And that's the message actually stored metaphorically inside a subconscious mind. And that is the inner child which is inside the subconscious mind. So it is us as children when we were in the state of fear, panic, rage, guilt, shame, and that is being recorded in the memory. Okay, so two things the child would have done. The child would have gone into a corner, hidden. Basically, I don't want to talk about it. This is not happening to me. And in fact, many children, they sleep on the bed curled up like this fetal position, you know, the legs up like that. They feel very comforted because inside the mother womb, they were very secure, happy being inside the mother womb, basically. So what the other child might do, the other child might go all out, rampage, lashing out everybody around them. You know, that's the fight and flight mechanism. Only these two are there. So this will continue in their life. Either they will go into their shell or they'll go all out and they create mess. Both are bad. We have to know how to balance it. Okay. So basically, why did we enter into fight or flight? To protect ourselves. The child wanted to protect itself. It would have used a resource which is parents or teachers, but the resource itself went against them. So they have to now protect themselves. So they created this cocoon, and that cocoon is playing all the time. So it's in our mind. The moment it's in your mind, what do? You have to do mind-related work. There is no body-related work here. Okay? Now let's see what's the next thing. What is the whole idea of inner child? When does it get created? Okay, when does it created anyway, we spoke about it. But why the inner child should be there? We all have to think why it should be there. It only gives us a chance to grow. You have to see it. It is there inside your mind, calling your attention. And it has a lot of talents, beautiful things along with it. You can also call it as your shadow self. Shadow self is also an adult which is grown, but it's like an inner child. And many of the shadow self starts as an inner child. Okay. So, which is hidden, which wants to be hidden because it misunderstands about itself. And then it hides along with it many of the brilliance, many of the gifts which it can offer to the adult. So embracing the inner child is what we need to do. But we do just the opposite. We hide it as much as possible with many, many layers of emotions. And the day you embrace it, because that is why it keeps coming as pattern, because it's calling your attention. The day you give attention to it, that is when you'll unlock the jackpot. So the jackpot is in us in the form of inner child. So you need to work with that, get it out, so that you grow that inner child to be as adult as you are. It is like you're driving a car and there are many children riding with you. They are in your car. And there is some speed breaker or something is there on the road. Before you could handle it, one of the child jumped on you, sat on your lap and said, I know how to handle this. Give me the steering. The child doesn't know how to drive the car. But then it thinks it knows and then it just goes haywire and you meet with an accident, and the adult is only confused and surprised. Oh my gosh, what happened here? Accident, how did it happen? So what happens when you work with the inner child? Adult will say, chill out. I know how to drive the car and I'm the driver. You sit quietly, it's okay. I will handle it. And then the car moves smoothly. This is exactly what will happen when you work with the inner child, when you understand your own inner child. And then, as a bonus, you get the jackpot. Right? Okay, so let's see what's next. That's it. We are done. We came to the end of it. So now it's open for questions for everybody and discussions. I'm open for it.
Can I go?
Please go ahead.
I have this question arose after I heard your example of this little child being denied ice cream by the mother time and again, and the child forming a certain thought pattern that she's not good enough and etc. Now, does this kind of inner child try to overcompensate as an adult later?
That is what is happening. That's what we call a subpersonality.
Oh, okay.
That is why the adult is in trouble. How the adult comes to the therapy? I'm not able to be in any job. I don't feel good in my relationship. All the men always use me up. I don't seem to get the right man. Or they'll say that I'm not able to get any proposal. I'm not getting married. Usually the mothers will come.
Okay.
And then what happens is I feel extremely difficult to socialize. And I don't feel good about myself. You know, nobody likes me. I get this feeling that nobody likes me. These are the things. And if you go inner deeper, these inner children will pop out. Pop out in the sense how? They will start remembering these memories. Then they will realize, oh my God, this is how it came. But I have to deal with whatever I happened as a child. And then things will miraculously will change. But of course, it's not an on-off switch where you just saw in a child and you're done. No, you have to work with several layers, but definitely it will become better. Plus, you also have to look at the jackpot. That 8-year-old, what jackpot she had. The moment you realize that, then you'll embrace the child. You feel very good about the child. And the child feels good to give that brilliance or the gift to the adult.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, just one second. Madhu, you have anything more to say?
Yeah, a little
ahead,
extension, if that's okay. To give an example from my own life, as a little child, I was deprived of nice clothes, or that's the feeling that I grew up with because I had this huge obsession for clothes. I remember growing up with it every day of my life. And my mom and dad were salaried people. They made me as happy as they could. When I grew up, I understood that, but then I always felt deprived. What I do now, after I got a certain capacity monetarily, I started filling up my wardrobe with whatever I wanted.
Exactly.
And I still can't grasp that happiness that is supposedly available in that.
Absolutely.
So is this inner child?
Ask you.
Okay.
So what happens is, Madhu, this collecting the clothes probably is what you have realized, because that's a tangible object. When it grows, then you know that, oh, I'm collecting many dresses. What are you collecting like that, which are intangible in your life to make you happy? You have to look at those also. There will be some few things in your life which the child would have believed that having it means people are loving me. Having all of this means I'm not deprived of anything, like they're giving me. Okay? Many times what happens is, to get this from people, we go out of our way. We put ourselves down to get those things. Such things could also be happening. You have identified your dresses part of you, whatever is happening, but identify what else you are collecting like that. Okay. Then you get an idea, oh my gosh, this is happening because of that, because you've already 50% you are there. You already understood the word deprived of. That is where it is. Where in your other areas of your life you feel you are deprived of something?
Oh, that's a whole hornet's nest. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Exactly. And if you work on it, That child you have to talk.
Right.
You know, my parents have some other reason, but that's why they did it. They may want to control you. That's why they did. Or genuinely they didn't have money, whatever it is. When you start doing that, not because it was their birthright to deprive you of, something will change in your current adult life.
Okay.
You know, that's how it is.
Okay. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so just one thing. In the beginning, we wrote some beliefs, right? I want you to just go through that list. And also, if you would have written where you got that, you know that they're already inner children. And those are the things probably you will realize and you have to work on. Work on is just to get the awareness about it. Okay? Okay. Questions? Nobody has any question? Wonderful.
So Isha, yeah.
Hmm.
So you mentioned something about the karma aspect, right? Especially giving an example. I mean, I'm not holding you to that example, but the point is, what I'm trying to understand is that, okay, if we are working on ourselves, we understand karma and we understand that, you know, it can be related to something in the past life or whatever, whichever lifetime, whatever it is. But as a new person, I mean, it's very difficult for anybody to make anybody understand that it could be connected to something, you know, it's something karmic also. It could be something karmic. And then how does that person not start feeling to be the victim? You know, having that victim mentality. How do you save that? I mean, protect that person from developing a victim personality that, oh, ye to mera karma hai, because a lot of us get burdened by that thought also that, oh, ye to mera karma hai, so I don't know how to deal with it.
Okay.
Right? Because in our this thing, they talk about karma, but then they don't talk about how to overcome it.
Yes, that is right. So what happens is you ask, how do I know about this karma? We don't know about this karma. Definitely, you're right. Okay. And we should not care because we don't know where in this whole loop we are. It's not a small little loop where you can now see and say, oh, this is the beginning, this is the end, this is how it is. We can't. We don't know where in that loop of karma we are stuck. So it is better not to care for it. Okay. Now, what you need to do is you just need to address what is happening to you, which is, you said, probably we are victimized. We are in the victim state, right? Straight away work on that. Nobody can make you to be a victim unless you go stand in that place. Unless you're telling the whole world, come and victimize me. Nobody can victimize you. You have the power. The day you lose that power, you allow people to victimize you. So it is as simple as, I am not going to allow this to happen. That one sentence telling yourself will change something for the next time. And so you will come out one more out of that pattern or layer. Now, will this be welcomed very easily by everybody? For you to get out of the victimhood? Nobody likes it because they all love to be in this equilibrium in the family where you should play the victim role and they are the perpetrator. They don't like, definitely. So there will be some more trauma, some more problems, right? So it is like in a fast forward mode, you will start getting everything back. Tuck, 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 one after the other, the karmic things will come out. Now you have to stay put. No matter what, I am not going back to the victimhood is what you have to keep telling yourself. And that might make you a worst person in the family. And because of you, your children may get affected. But stay put, believe yourself. If you continue that, at least for minimum 3 months, something will change. If it doesn't change, it is not worth being there. You'll deal with it. But the first step you have to take, not being the victim. So you need to advise everybody also. It is not like, oh, divine thing, accept it, and then it is okay. No, it's not okay. You are meant to learn to be courageous. Can you accept what's happening with you? You can't. Life plan doesn't mean that it's acceptance of everything. Accept that I have become a victim. I need to get out. Don't blame others. It's who you're standing there. You. So you need to get out. And when you get out, you will deal with it. How to deal with it, you will get it. If it's your life purpose, trust me, you will get all the help you want. And you will move. Okay? So, karma is a very nice word to talk about, to discuss about endlessly, and to blame when there is nobody in front of us to blame. But leave it there itself. That's enough. And work on yourself. That's how it is. Okay. Any more questions?
Isha, I have a question.
Tell me.
So you mentioned earlier that so when inner children are created, they created and they live in the mind. So it's mostly mind work that you need to do. But are there also instances where inner children can cause physical issues?
Of course, a lot.
Can you just explain a little bit about that and how to deal with that?
Okay. I'll give you my own example.
Thank you.
It's safer to give my own example. Okay. So what happened? I was with my parents in a small little town studying there. There was only one school there. Can you believe it? Anyway, so and my sister, who's the elder sister, was already away in a friend's relative place, and she was studying there. Until 10-year-old, I was with my parents. That is when I came to 4th standard, I was sent out to stay with my grandparents in a city, so that there are good schools or whatever. There are multiple reasons why my parents sent away to stay with my grandparents. I was a person who was like the shadow of my mother. I wouldn't leave her pallu, like that I was. I remember when we used to go for a wedding or something, I would sit next to her. Nobody would see when they're eating. There is a person sitting next. There is an empty space. It used to look like that because I used to be hidden next to her. And then everything, I couldn't even ask people whether I want the food or not. I would expect my mother to tell them, put little, don't put more, etc. And then whatever I don't want, I will immediately put into her plate so that my plate is neat and clean. This is how I used to be. And when my parents sent me away, it's a big shock. Now, why I'm telling you all this? Because I have worked on this inner child. Every part of my problem goes to this child. It used to, not anymore. Now it is stopped. But how much I worked on it, every problem in my life would go there. Okay. Now what happened? After I went away, I made myself stronger. That is the brilliance. That I have to be on my own. I don't have anyone. I can't depend on anyone, is what I have learned in my life. That also has caused a lot of problems as an adult. But basically, I started getting the ability to take head on, do anything. You can do it. And I could do anything. Okay, so that kind of a thing. Now, what happens is I was an introvert person. Introvert people get everything in their body. Extrovert people, they're very telling the whole world about their problem before it goes to the body. Okay? Basically, we call them physical, emotional people. Okay? So what happened? I will put everything in my body. This is how the inner child will affect the body. I had severe eczema. And that eczema would come every time I experienced that I don't have anybody. Okay, eczema is on the skin. Metaphysically, it's all about separation, attachments and detachments. Okay, so kept on dealing with eczema so much. When it started becoming a little better, I started getting cough problems, suffocation. And classically, in medically also, eczema, if you stop it, then something related to respiratory system will start. And that's exactly how it is with respect to acupuncture also. That's how it is. Okay. So severe cough. And this eczema went away after probably some 10 years, whatever. But the cough stayed back. It stayed back till 2015. I used to be like keeping, finally I figured out, whatever medicine is there other than psychology related stuff, mind related stuff, I have done it with the help of my mother. I can even tell you how 101 different things are there which you can use it on the body. Nothing worked. Only one thing which finally gave me some relief is homeopathy. That one specific doctor I figured out and I got that medicine. I would keep that medicine every possible place in my house, in my purse. In spite of that, when there is the meeting, when there is a little bit of something happening to me, this cough will break up. I couldn't go to drama to watch something in the theaters because I will be coughing so loudly, everybody will say, please get out. Meetings, not possible. Workshops, not possible. I never wanted to take workshops and teaching because of this reason. It started practically affecting me everywhere. If I'm sleeping, my cousins or anybody is there, they say that I can't sleep. Can you please go out of this room? It's so difficult. Life will affect you fully. But when I started learning this regression therapy, clinical hypnotherapy and regression therapy, continuously I worked on this. And one after the other, inner children after inner children. Of course, I worked on the acupuncture also at that time. Just one session of acupuncture with my teacher and 4 inner children fixed it to my life. It's been nearly 5 years. With any change of weather, I don't have this cough. I don't even have that medicine. It's cleaned. It can change. But body is the one which will 100% affect from the inner child if you don't work with them. And worst thing, what you keep taking medications, surgeries, blah, blah, blah. It will manifest something else. You have to deal with the inner child. And along with it, take the medicine. You have to do both. You have to do it. Disease has mental issue. Okay? So anything, any body issue will always start with a mental issue. Okay. And long time back, it would have started. So it is very safe to work on the mental issue also along with your physical issues. You don't have to categorize. There will be a mental issue. Okay. And if there is any mental issue, and there will be, there will be 1 or 2 inner child itself. Definitely it will be there. Okay. Okay. So basically there is a huge area which is called metaphysical reasons for diseases or meta health. Right. And Deepti keeps holding such discussions also. It's a huge thing. It is very well researched across the world, especially from Germany. It's very high. You have books also, if you search in the Amazon, for every ailment, it will tell you what is the mental reason. Like Lewis Hay, right? Yeah, everything. And then all you have to do is take a hint from there and work on it. And the first thing you will encounter is related inner children. And then probably you will encounter past lives. Okay. Or any other energies, entanglements, blah, blah, blah. There are quite a few, okay? Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thanks. But clearly there is an association, Madhu, what you're saying. 8 hours sleeping and the cold. There is something there. Okay, so that is an association which is built. You have to break that association, that's all. Okay, but without actually consciously breaking that association, the problem is gone. I can sleep. You might have altered it already. Okay. It's like you are in the retrospection mode right now, which you might have already done it. Okay. With replacing some other association or some other belief. Something you might have done. Okay? All right. I'm just telling you that. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you. Sure. Dimple.
Yes, Tisha, I wanted to know, like, how do you know specifically that what situation is connected with what inner child? So let's say, there are a couple of memories I can relate to, but how do we relate? Because I have worked on, those issues couple of times and continuously I have been. So how do we understand that a particular situation is connected with a particular inner child?
You have to remember one thing. Mind shows what it wants it to be shown, what it wants it to be addressed. So the moment you think about an issue or a belief system or a postulate which you made, where in the past I have felt something like this, it will always throw up a memory. And you believe it because you have to believe yourself. And take that as a hint. Again, where else have I felt it like this? Keep going down, down, down. That's how you go one after the other. And one inner child can give 100 issues, different issues. Like how everything of mine went to fourth standard. In my healing fraternity, everybody knows my fourth standard inner child. They call it fourth standard child. They can even recognize it's been like that so much. But not anymore. I'm so proud of that child. Because first of all, I've got rid of my cough. So now I can be proud. Okay. So you got it right? You got the answer. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gunjan.
Gunjan. Hello, Gunjan. Where are you?
Gunjan, you raised your hand.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to, really, I also related to the question, that previously was asked. So, I have grown with a very weak constitution. So, always in my childhood, I had some stomach problems, and dizziness. All the time I had this. And, my family or, they always keep, telling me that, oh, you are so weak, how will you, grow up as a healthy child? And, you have so much problems. Every another day, you have something or that paining in your body. So I really had a weak constitution since my childhood. So, when I grew up, so now I am in my 30s, 35, 35 or 36. So, yeah, so now I also, sometimes feel that, because of my thought process only, I am getting the same problems again and again. So, when I read something about any of the illness, I start feeling the same issues with my body. So I know, that is the fear that I have, that, I don't have a healthy body, or, I will get some illness. So that fear or that thought is there with me. I know, this is my inner child, but I don't know how to work on it. I have been, trying homeopathies, and I have been trying counseling sessions also, but I am not able to, 100% come out of that thought that, that my body is 100% fine, and, I do not have to have any fear that, that was related to my past.
Okay.
Yes.
So, weak constitution. First of all, here, parent over and again telling will instill that kind of a belief that I'm not healthy, right? And if you always had stomach upset, I'm sure there is something which you're not able to digest, whatever happened as in a childhood. So there is one belief which is coming from the parents that you are not healthy, you are weak. Okay. So that you will definitely one inner child. So another inner child which is not able to digest something. Okay. Whatever happened in life. And probably it is like it's like how we said, the personality has become a weak personality. So everything else, whatever happens, we keep on believing, proving ourselves that we are not strong. Okay. Or I can't take this. I am vulnerable. Okay. So what you need to do is, first of all, you have to handle, I know that you have worked with counseling. The difference between counseling and inner child is counseling mostly deals with the current problem which is happening. It doesn't go layered down deeper backwards in time. That is the difference between the regression therapies and psychotherapies, not even psychotherapy, regressions. Regressions are very deep than the counseling or the psychotherapy. They are very surface oriented. So they may give you like a painkiller, but will they go to the root cause? They don't. So I suggest that you take up inner child healing with somebody whom you know, and it just doesn't go away at one level, because several layers you have to handle. And slowly over the period of time, like a 1 year or 2 year or so, you will start seeing the difference. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much what I can tell you. Did you understand, Gunjan?
Yes, yes, I understand. So,
Yeah. Kavita.
Hi, Isha. Lovely to hear you again, as always. So,
I'm not able to hear you, Kavita.
so I wanted to understand. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, clearly.
Can you hear?
Mm-hmm.
So, sheer awareness, like I have this huge problem of
Got cut, Kavita.
I said I have this huge problem of insecurity.
Okay.
Now, awareness of the problem, will that heal? Supposing I just am aware. If I'm aware of the problem of insecurity, will it heal it?
It's getting cut. I'm not able to exactly make out your question.
That's why I put off my video.
No problem.
I said, if I'm aware that I'm insecure, which might have come out of an inner child, will it heal that problem?
Awareness to a great extent will make you to cope up with it.
Okay.
But will it take you away from being insecure? May not.
Oh, okay.
So it is a good thing that you are aware of it, feeling like, oh my God, I'm feeling insecure, but I don't have to be. That means adult is already out. Adult is able to cope up.
Right.
But
yes.
If you understand why am I getting this insecure feeling, then you're going to handle the inner child. Then the adult will become naturally, courageous or naturally flowing with its full potential, because there won't be any insecurity afterwards.
Okay. So I know why I'm feeling insecure, because at the time of my birth, I was probably separated from my mother. My mother fell ill. So maybe the insecurity is coming from there.
Yes, of course. So do that. Work on it. You do. Give yourself that rebirth.
Okay.
And at that time, you make sure that your mother is telling you all the loving things, everything, and you tell her how loving you are. And for some time, you can go away from your mother and come back.
Okay.
Give that the overall picture to the child, that you're not going away.
Right.
And this also will solve your problem of the sorrow of losing your mother. Trust me.
If I do what? If I have this perspective.
Yes.
That she's loving me and she's around me.
Yeah, she's always around me. You went away from your parents, you came back, did you?
Yes.
Okay, so that is the bird's eye view, right? That is a larger picture of the life. But the child which came out as a baby didn't know. It felt like rejected and taken away. Right? So you have to give that baby the larger picture and then tell the baby you are very secure. You are there. It's just temporary. You've gone and come back.
And same thing like my losing my mother, that she is going to come back.
No, she may not going to come back. How can people who are dead and gone can come back, Kavita? It's not like that. But what you have to say is, when your mother died, you got reminded about that separation.
Yes, okay.
And that is why you are having so much of trauma. That you're not able to let go of your mother. It's like it always happens to me like this. I am to lose my mother. That is a child which is making.
Okay.
So now if you handle that inner child and telling that I am there for you.
Okay.
Everybody should die and go, but I am there for you. I as Kavita, adult Kavita is there for you. I'm more than the mother. And I'm always there with you.
Okay.
Until, we die and go, I am there with you. Then your trauma or your sadness because you have lost your mother will become a little less. You will miss her, but you don't feel so sad.
Okay. Okay.
Got it right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Please work on it, Kavita.
Yeah.
Payal.
Hi, Isha.
Hi, Payal.
Yeah, Isha, I have this habit for the last, I think, 25 years that when you're stressed, you're eating. When you're happy, you're eating. Everything you're doing that. And that again causes you more and more stress, because you can't stop it. So is that something to do with your inner child?
Of course, it can be. See, inner child, everything is not only inner child. Inner child it's like a magnet collecting all kinds of things. So starting with inner child, it would have collected many, many, many things. But it's worth, trying to see where is this child comforting itself. Love is associated with eating.
Okay, yeah, in an Indian way, yes.
It's either grandmother telling, beta, ek aur le lo, beta, eat it, kind of thing. Indians are very good in showing love with food. Or when someone is not listening to us, when we are feeling bad, we are kind of eating to divert ourselves. So mostly for Indians, it is love associated with food. So where you have felt some love is not there, care is not there, that kind of a situation you need to work on.
Okay.
And because that would have, over the period of time, attracted many things like a magnet, so many other things also you might end up working.
Fine. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, got it.
Yes, Payal.
Thanks, Isha.
Thank you. Anyone else? Or are we done?
I think we're right on time, 8:30.
There is Seema is there. Hi, Seema. Tell me. Unmute.
Hi, Eshanye. After the therapy, the class that I took from you, the inner child class, a lot of things have changed in my space. So when the therapy was on, my thing was, I think I can't handle it and I wanted to hide. I actually used to go and hide in the staircase because I didn't want to be seen. So after the therapy and working on myself, as and when the awareness comes, like a lot of people, when the crowd, even they're coming at home and all, earlier I would like to push away. Now with awareness, I say I can handle it. And people's reactions to me have changed and they are suddenly liking me more. And not only that, like the clients have increased. So I do tarot and dowsing. It is like I understand that when I've embraced it and I've accepted it and I feel there is no benefit in hiding anymore. It is changed. My scene has really changed. And the clients are just coming and they're loving the way I explain with love and, their understanding.